Well, hello everyone, Miss Jessica here again, and welcome to day 20 of our December daily draw. Now today we're going to be making a sack full of toys. So I definitely want you to be thinking of what kind of toys do you want to put inside today. It can be different than mine or maybe the same. We're going to have fun with lots of different colors. I want you guys to look at our supplies today. I have oil pastels, watercolors, couple markers here with some festive colors, and I'm going to be using a shiny silver marker. Now, if you don't have one, that's totally fine, but if you do, go ahead and grab it and you can use that today. Now, as always, you don't have to follow along with the same colors or supplies, just use what you have. Let's go ahead and get started drawing. So grab your paper of what you're going to use today. Now, if you're going to use watercolors like I am, I do suggest watercolor paper or really thick paper. Once you have it, make sure you turn it up and down, vertical, and add your number at the top. Today is number 20. Now, like always, make sure you have your pencil, but I'm going to use my Sharpie today. We're going to do a lot of erasing, or maybe just a little bit, so always have that eraser ready with your pencil. Now let's begin with the whole bag itself. It's going to be nice and big. We're going to draw the wavy edges first, so let's go ahead and decide. I feel like I want mine to be about this big on my paper. So I'm going to start on the left, and I'm going to draw a wavy line for the side. It can be as wavy as you want, and I'm going to curve it down. Now, mine's super, super wavy, but go ahead and just have fun creating the shape for the side of your bag. Then I'm going to draw my other side. It can look a little different. Maybe it's bigger waves. Remember, it's filled with lots of toys, so we don't want it to be straight. Toys kind of push out on the sides there. Now, once you have your two waves, please make sure to always pause and finish whenever you need to. Just press play when you're ready. At the edges, we're going to curve it around, and it should look like two little U's sticking out, two little feet at the end of our bag. And once you're done, just connect it together with another wavy line from one side to the other. And that, you guys, is going to be the bottom of our bag. So please finish that up, make it nice and big so you can fill it up with different toys. Across the top, though, instead of wavy, this time it's going to just be curved. So I'm going to start from one side to the other and curve my line going across, just like that. Now, the sides of our bag here at the top, this is going to be kind of the lip of it. Think about a stocking, how sometimes they're white at the top and colored at the bottom. We're going to do the same thing. So my sides are going to be kind of wavy too. I'm going to curve it up like a backwards 3, and same thing on the other side. So go ahead and draw those two curvy lines for the top. Notice they're not very big. And this is going to be a rounded object again. So just like the bottom, from one side to the other, I'm going to curve that line, just like so. Now that's pretty much how big and the size and placement of our bag's going to be. And now we can start to add some things on it as well as above it. Now we're going to have fun today. If you'd like to join me, I'm going to add some really cute eyes to my bag to give it a little personality. Maybe it's filled with magic. So on my bag, I'm going to draw two big circles for my eyes. One on the left and one on the right. Now have fun making those eyes however you want. I'm going to add some cute sparkles inside. Maybe you want to as well. Inside each eye, I'm going to start with a curved line right in the middle on the left and right. Maybe it's kind of a little bit like a letter C, or maybe a backwards C. Then on the right side, I'm going to draw a big circle at the top and a small circle at the bottom. Kind of makes it look like it's shining a little highlight. Now later we're going to fill some of that in, so don't do it right now with your pencil, just keep drawing. I'm going to add some eyelashes to my bag. If you'd like to, you can, or you can just leave it how it is. And then maybe some lines at the top curving like little eyebrows. Now that looks pretty cute, but we also want to add a smile. So right in between, I'm going to draw a little smile line so my bag looks really happy. All right, guys, this is looking really good so far. Now don't worry, we're going to decorate it more. So right now, we'll just go ahead and leave it. And once we start our coloring, I'll show you guys how to add a little bit of extra things. Now let's jump up to the top because we need to add some toys. Now feel free today to draw with me, or you can even just add your own. Just make sure to draw it nice and big. I'm going to add a teddy bear to mine. I know I love to ask for stuffed animals when I was a kid, so let's go ahead and draw some. For our teddy bear, I'm going to just draw a nice big oval for his head. It's going to sit right in the middle, just floating right above, so I still have room for his body. Now this is going to be a teddy bear, so I'm going to add some rainbows for his ear on the left and the right. If you'd like to turn this into another stuffed animal, please do. Just add the details you would like to. Then I'm going to draw 2 more smaller ones inside. All right, now I need a really cute face. So I'm just going to begin with 2 small circles. Again, don't color anything in. We'll do that later. Maybe add some eyebrows, maybe my eyelashes. That's up to you. A little oval for my nose and my straight line in the middle with my 2 curves to make him look like he's happy. Now, if you want, you can also add something else to his head, maybe a hat, a Santa hat, a crown, maybe it's a unicorn, you want a horn. So please have fun and decorate your bear however you'd like. Now, if you need to pause, please do so. But next, I'm going to show you the body of your stuffed animal. We're going to start on the left and the right, and I want you to draw 2 lines going down and touch the end of the bag. It looks like he's sitting inside. Now, to be a little extra creative, what you can do is at the end of your lines, draw 2 U's that come down and touch the bag again. And this looks like the teddy bear's hands or animal's hands coming over and holding on tight to that bag. You can even draw them up a little bit more. And then we're going to need to erase any lines inside of his arms. Now, I can erase using Sharpie, so take your eraser and erase these 2 lines now. And just to add a little extra special magic, I'm going to draw a little heart on him. So if you'd like to do the same, you may, or you can just leave it as is. And that's a pretty cute looking teddy bear. Now again, if you want to have fun adding more things, you can. But I'm just going to end today by adding a few more things, maybe some presents, maybe some candy canes. So if you'd like to follow me, you can. I'm going to put these presents behind him so they're hiding. I'm going to start with a square. So I'm going to draw a line down from his head to my little bag. I'm going to do that on the left and the right. Now I'm going to kind of add an angle just to kind of give it a little extra detail. Maybe you want to draw a skinnier rectangle on the top like a lid and then decorate it. Maybe some bows. Maybe there's a ribbon going down through it. Maybe this side there's stripes on it. Different colored paper. Maybe still a nice fluffy bow. Now if you want to, you can add any more toys. Just remember, if you draw on top of anything, erase the lines inside. Now I'm just going to end with some candy canes because that's always a really fun thing to have around Christmas time. So I'm going to have my candy cane sticking out the sides. I'm going to draw a hook from the bag going up and then just make that a little 3D so you can add your stripes in a little bit. Then I'll just draw one more. This one's going to be peeking out the top of my present a little bigger, coming around. Now notice, please go ahead and finish that up, but notice how my bag doesn't quite touch any toys. If that happens, you're just going to curve it around to touch the toy on the left and the right. And then we can always color that in to make it look dark so we can't see that anymore. But great job, you guys. That is the end of our drawing for day 20. Please make sure to go ahead and finish this up. Press pause if you need to, and then just press play when you're done. We are going to be tracing our lines. So just like mine, how it's all Sharpie, I want you to grab a Sharpie, trace everything you see. Now's the time we can do a little coloring as well. So please go ahead and begin. We can color in things like our bear's eyes and his nose. Any animal maybe you did draw, and then especially on our bags. So I'm going to use my Sharpie to fill in. Now maybe you drew your eyes a little different. You can just color that however you need to, but please make sure you trace everything as well. Now if your eyes are super big like mine, it could take you a little bit of time. So to make it go by a little faster, instead of a Sharpie, you can always grab a black marker. And just make sure you go around those circles. We want to leave those white. And then just nicely fill in the rest. So black marker might work a little faster, or crayon or color pencil, whatever you might be using today. I'm going to go ahead and finish on both sides. But please make sure again to trace everything you see. But if you did erase a line, don't trace that one. All right, now once I'm done with my eyes, I'm going to begin my coloring steps. So please go ahead and pause your video, finish tracing everything, then press play when you are ready to color. All right, let's go ahead and begin our first step, which is going to be markers. We're going to use our markers to color in all the things up here at the top. Now, you don't have to color everything. I'm also going to use some oil pastels for a little extra detail as well. So let's go ahead and grab those materials and get ready to get started. Now, I'm going to show you guys a really fun technique for my animal here, my bear. Yours might be something a little different. That's totally fine. But I'm going to use my oil pastel, and I'm going to use kind of maybe a tan, a gold, something of that sort, or maybe even a brown. And instead of coloring the whole thing in, I want to show that it's fuzzy. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to add some swirly lines all the way around, just like this. Now, maybe you have a different animal. You can still add these swirly lines, or you can just go ahead and color the whole object in, maybe with markers instead of oil pastels. Now, as I do these lines, I want to make sure not to go on the eyes and nose because they might cover it up. Even though it's Sharpie, still sometimes oil pastel can kind of go on top. I'm going to do that on everything, including the ears. It's good to leave some white space. That's how you know it looks fuzzy. And on the body. If you drew something else, like this little heart, I'm going to go around and color that in after. All right. Now maybe I want to color in that cute little heart, so I can take a red. I'm going to do an oil pastel. And I'm going to fill that in. Maybe I need a color in my ears, so I'm going to use a peach and fill those in too. Please go ahead and continue to color in any details on your bear or animal that you drew. Now next for my presents, I'm just going to use marker only because I don't need to do any swirly lines. But I can use any colors. Now I do want to remind you guys of our color scheme: red, green, blue, some black and white, and also silver or gold. Sometimes when we introduce silver and gold into holiday pictures, it makes it look magical. I'm going to focus on my greens and my reds right now. So let's begin with my presents. I'm going to use a green to color in my gift. So I'm going to outline nicely and just going to fill that in with my up and down lines. Do that to both sides, but again, you can always have fun with your different colors. Be very careful not to go on any oil pastel. Oil pastel and markers don't like to mix together. I'm going to switch to a new green and jump to the other side and add some to my stripes. But please have fun decorating any way you want on those gifts. Color in the top of my bow. And then fill that in. Now for my candy cane, I can just go ahead and use my red and directly add my curved lines. I don't need to draw them, but if you would like, you totally can. Maybe instead of red, you'd like to do a different color. Candy canes come in all different colors and flavors. I'm just going to add some red. Now I'm just going to finish up by coloring in the rest of my presents. So I am going to use a little bit of that nice red color, but I can also use maybe some blue. So go ahead and finish up using markers, maybe even some oil pastels to color in all the toys. Again, maybe yours are a little different than mine. Maybe you added some things that you were going to ask for Christmas or for your special holiday this time of the year. And I'm going to add a little bit of blue. Now, once we're done, we're going to have a lot of cool things we're going to do on our bag. And we're going to use our oil pastels. So make sure to keep those out or grab those with you. We're going to do some painting afterwards with our watercolors. Now, watercolors and oil pastels don't mix together. So when I paint on top of my oil pastels, they actually still show through. All right, now I'm all done with my presents at the top. So I'm going to put my markers away and keep my pastels. Please press pause if you need to finish coloring the top, but now we're going to move on to our bag. I'm going to make mine red, so it kind of matches the way maybe Santa's sleigh would look or Santa himself. If you'd like to use a different color, please do so, but follow along with how I'm going to color it in. Since we are just going to be using watercolors, or for most of it, let's start with just a shadow. I'm going to use my red, but maybe your your sack will be brown or gray, so grab that color you'd like. And on the right side here, I'm going to draw some curvy lines, starting right here on my first little curve. Yours might be different. And I'm going to draw my little curve out and in, almost like a triangle. I'm going to add one more down here, out and in. Please go ahead if you want to add some more, and then just press hard and fill that whole triangle in. Once we paint it, it'll look like shading on your bag. Now I'm going to put that away, and I'm going to grab a white. Now what's cool about white is when you paint over it, it shows through. So right now you might not be able to see it as well, but I want you guys just to try your best. I'm going to use my white, and I'm going to add lines up and down, along the left side, left side only. Now again, I know it's a little hard to see, but you're just going to add some lines, and in the end, it's going to look a little bit like this. I'll show you how to go back over it with something shiny like a silver too. Once you're done with your lines, I want you to add some snowflakes. You don't have to, but these snowflakes are going to be the magic to show that the reason why our little toy sack here is full and alive and ready for Christmas. So I'm going to take my white and I'm going to add some snowflakes all over in different sizes. Up to you. Again, if you don't want to, maybe you want to do something different, like a pattern, you may. All right, now I'm going to put the white away, and that is going to be it for oil pastels. Next and last thing is we'll do some painting, so finish that up. What I would like you guys to do too, if you haven't already, let me point to my sides of my bag here. If you have these little areas inside, you can just take a Sharpie or a marker, and you can color those in dark, because that's the inside of the toy sack and you can't see inside of it. So I'm just going to do that. All right, let's grab our watercolors and our water. And again, I'm going to do red, but do whatever color you want your bag here to be. Dip, wipe, and find my red. 1, 2, 3. We'll swirl it on a few times. And then we're just going to paint over the pastel. Now watch what happens when you paint on the white. Let me get a little bit more so you can see. The white is still there. So go ahead and let's paint very nicely. Try not to go in our eyes. Trying to stay inside of our bag. Nice big strokes. If you need more paint, dip, wipe 1, 2, 3, or a couple times again. Continue to paint. Now I am using my largest brush, but if you need to use something smaller, please do so. Whatever is going to be the easiest for you to paint with. Try to get all those white spots. Now red does tend to be very light on white paper because red plus white equals pink. So I'll probably need to add another layer of red watercolors in just a little bit. But I'm going to continue to paint. Getting very close to my eyes, but not going inside. And to the top as well. So let's go ahead and just continue to paint. Go over eyelashes or eyebrows. Okay, if you get any water spots, you can just lay a towel and press, and it'll pick up any water you didn't really want. All right, now finish up that painting. When you're done, let that dry. So we're just going to stop painting, and we're going to actually add a little bit more. And then when it's dry, I'll show you how to go back, and we're going to add a little sparkle. All right, so I need that to dry. So I'm going to let that sit, clean my brush, and I want you to grab a small brush, the smallest one you can find. Mine's about this big. And on our white part here, we're going to add shading with a light blue watercolor. So let's try our best. Let's dip, wipe, and grab some light blue, just a little bit. And we're going to go along the very bottom here, and we're going to take our very small brush, and we're just going to paint as carefully as we can right along the bottom. Let me get a little more water. Doesn't need to be too dark. It can stay light. That's okay. Careful not to get with that red because it will make purple. And just along the bottom. All right, now that we have that blue, you can just take some water on your brush and go back and blend it out. So be very gentle, but you can use just water to push that blue up a little bit more into the top of that bag. Awesome job. Try that out. Now we're going to add a little bit more. So I'm going to take some more blue. I'm going to come to my curve here, and I'm going to add some kind of coming out and stop. Then I'm just going to do a line that's curvy from one side to the other right in the middle. And a little bit on the other side. Again, go back if you want to take just some water. Push that blue. And now it looks like a very realistic 3D look to your bag. You can always go back and add some more dark blue. Maybe it's just too light. Remember, the more water, the lighter the color. The more color, the darker it gets. Now be careful, if it starts to look like it's shredding, that means it's ripping. So stop and just wait, let it dry. You can add more later. I'm going to put a little bit underneath the little hands of my teddy bear because he's hanging over, so we would see a little shadow right underneath. And great job, you guys. Now we need to let this dry. So while we're waiting, we're going to go ahead, and now's our time to use our shiny metallic marker. So I'm going to put this away. We can come back to it later if you need to, but I want this to dry a lot. So I'm going to let that dry. And I'm going to use a shiny silver, but if you only have a regular, maybe a Sharpie, you can still do the same thing. In the background, we're going to add sparkles. You don't have to, but if you'd like, you may try. Maybe even have a gray color pencil, a gray marker would work awesome. So around the top of my picture, I'm just going to make an X and some lines going through. And I'm going to spread those around nice and big to look like my snowflakes, or maybe the magic that I was talking about all around our picture. Then maybe you just want to add some small ones. You can just do some small X's, like small little snowflakes all over. And then you can even just make small circles. Look like little sparkles. So have fun decorating the background. You can even use different colors if you want. Maybe you have a gold, not just silver. Get down towards the bottom. Add a bigger snowflake down here too. Now, once you're done, check your bag. If it's dry, you may try this. If it's still wet, wait, because we don't want to ruin our marker. But what we can do is take our shiny silver or gray. If you want, you don't have to. And you can trace right on top of the white snowflakes, and it makes it look shiny. Now again, you don't have to, you can just leave them white. Maybe you want to do it to a couple, but you want to leave some behind. You can also add the dots to make it shiny. That's going to be up to you guys. So let's go ahead and just finish the picture by adding lots of little snowflakes everywhere with a gray or shiny marker, maybe even gold. And this, you guys, is going to be the end of our daily draw for day 20. So wonderful job. Please go ahead and clean everything up, finish up those bags, and let that dry. My name is Miss Jessica. Thank you for joining us. If you would like to post your picture, join us on our Facebook page, Vivo Village, and we would love to see what you created. Have a wonderful day.